So this video is going to be a test of my equipment to make sure everything is still running all good and strong. What I have found since I started doing this, a lot of my early videos, well, probably the majority of them up until like the last 3 or 4 videos, I've been using my GoPro Hero 7 Black to record my my riding vlogs with and things like that. The problem that I always had with that setup was having to figure out external audio. I was running a voice recorder separate, having to sync up audio in post and do all that stuff like that. I wanted a more simple kind of plug and play single button operation to record videos, since GoPros are notorious for being unreliable. A lot of guys have good luck with them and don't seem to have problems, or they don't really even talk about it. But the problem with the GoPro, in my experience, when you hit record, when you have the microphone adapter plugged in, sometimes that can cause issues and problems with reliability. And I've had this happen, once or twice myself. Go out and record a video and then get back and realize that the audio is just kind of screwed up because the mic adapter didn't do its job correctly. So what I found over the last 3 or 4 videos is that using this DJI Osmo Action, the original one, not the second version that's come out, but using the original Osmo Action with the Cynova, I think that's how it's pronounced, CYNOVA audio adapter, with my Purple Panda microphone plugged into it. It works really good, but if you just run the microphone straight into the audio adapter, your audio is going to come out particularly hot, I guess you could call it. It's going to sound overmodulated and blown out. So what I found for a solution for that is running a inline volume control that you can buy on Amazon or eBay or just about anywhere. I bought a really super cheap one. I think it was like $6 or something, and it's on a cord probably about 6 inches long, and it literally looks like just a let's see if I can put a little picture of it up here. Just a little volume knob. It's not a knob, it's kind of a dial that if you plug your microphone into that and then plug that volume control into the Cynova audio adapter for the Osmo Action, and take the little rocker and max it out and then turn it back about 1/4 of a turn, it seems to set it right in that little sweet spot. However, as far as that setting your microphone level so it's not too hot, but I've had a problem with it on a couple of my videos. I just got done recording another one that by accident, because of where I have it placed on my helmet, I'll accidentally turn the volume all the way back up, and it makes my audio just a little bit hot. But even if it comes out a little bit hot, it's still not terrible. So I just have to figure out a way of putting a piece of tape over it or something to make sure that doesn't happen so much anymore. Because I literally just got done making a video when I took my helmet off and started playing back the video and realized that my audio is too hot. So a piece of tape, like I don't know, some of that black stuff, like the hockey stick tape, or maybe even a piece of Gorilla tape over the top of it to keep it from moving is definitely in order. So we'll have to do that. But in my experience, recording videos on the DJI Osmo Action 1 is far superior to anything that the GoPros put out. Now, I haven't tried the GoPro Hero 10 Black. I was tempted to buy one, but decided not to because I waited a while to kind of read people's reviews on things. And when a product comes out, typically you'll get a lot of positive reviews and people talking about how good it is and stuff, and you have to almost wait several weeks to a couple months to get people's real opinions on it. So I did that. I waited and I kept watching reviews and reading people's opinions on it, and they seemed to be pretty good, pretty positive about that. There weren't too many negative reviews on it, but slowly over time they started coming in, the bad reviews and the negative comments about the GoPro having software issues again, just like the 9 and the 8 had. The 7 really didn't have any problems until you plugged an audio adapter and a microphone into it. And what I think the problem with that is that it all depends on your memory card and how many things you're asking that GoPro to do all at once. Sometimes it would get corrupted files, or it just wouldn't record audio because it wasn't plugged in all the way. You know, part of these could be just user error, you know, people not having it pushed in all the way, or just forgetting to format the memory card when you first put it in the camera, and you know, getting everything all synced up and stuff. But I decided that I'm just not willing to take the risk on it. So instead of investing another $500 into the Hero 10 Black, I decided, well, I already have one DJI Osmo Action, and when I first bought it, I really didn't use it for all that much. I mean, I thought the form factor of it is a really neat little camera. It's like a little brick. The user interface on it is so simple and easy to use. I just decided that, you know what, I'm just going to get a couple more of those and start using those. So that's what I did. I got online and I ordered a couple more. Now here's what really sucks about it, is because they went through a period of time, this stupid visor needs to stay down better, went through a period of time where the price dropped down to a couple $100 for these little cameras. And luckily that's when I picked up my other two. I paid $200 a piece for them, but now they're going back up in price. And I suspect it's not only because, you know, the price of everything is going up, but because the Action 2, Osmo Action 2, well, I think they're just calling it the Action 2 anymore, but I don't think it's as good of a camera as far as usability is concerned. Now sure, it has some other features, like it'll do, like, you know, 4K 120, or you know, all that high frame nonsense that nobody really uses. You know, I mean, maybe you use it, but if people ask and demand all these high specs from camera manufacturers, and then they just, you know, it's like you want all this stuff, but where's your work? You know, you want 4K 120 frames per second with, you know, all the doodads and bells and whistles, but where's your work? You're asking for this, but you know, I don't see it from you, you know. So the original Osmo Action, you know, it does everything that I would ever want it to do, and it's just in a simple form factor. And you know what, the best thing about it is it's reliable 100% of the time. I have never had a problem with this Osmo Action, not since I figured out a good audio solution for it by using my microphone plugged into a volume control knob or dial, whatever you want to call it. Ever since then, I have not had a problem with it. And what's really cool about it is, if I don't feel like recording anything and I just want to ride, I just hit the record and turn it off, and then after a certain amount of time, which you can set in the menu, it'll power down by itself. And then when I feel like saying something, I can hit the record button again, and within like 3 or 4 or 5 seconds or whatever, it fires up, starts recording, I say what I need to say, and then I can just turn it off. And it always turns out, every single time. So even though I don't publish every single thing that I record, every video that I've ever recorded with the Osmo Action since going with this setup has always turned out. It's always there. Even if the audio is just a little bit too hot because my dumbass forgot to set the volume control properly, it's always there. Not only that, but in my opinion, the Osmo Action footage looks closer to a bigger camera than the GoPro does, because I'm not a fan of that super wide view like the fisheye look that action cameras have. And I like, you know, the Osmo Action, we just turn on the de-warp feature and it just kind of squares everything up, and it gives you a nice perspective, field of view where you can see what's going on and stuff. I prefer the look. I like the D-Cine-like profile, picture profile on the Osmo Action, and then just doing the color grading myself to kind of bring the colors up, because I don't like oversaturated colors. I don't like over sharp images, because all that stuff looks fake. It looks action camera like. So while you can just set the DJI Osmo Action in full auto mode and it looks pretty damn good, you can go in there and just kind of change a couple of things and dial it down a little bit and just make it look a heck of a lot better than your standard action camera footage would. So my recommendation to anyone that's wanting to find a good solution for, you know, maybe you don't even do moto vlogs or post videos online, but if you want to have, you know, maybe just store it on your computer hard drive, just your rides and your thoughts when you're riding and stuff like that, go with the original Osmo Action. Unfortunately, they're back to around $300 now. I don't know if they're still making them, but last I checked on like eBay and Amazon and all the usual places, they're at $300 again. So I think you missed the window where you could pick them up for 200 bucks, but that's why I bought 3 of them. You know, I have 3 of them now. One is my A cam on my helmet. My B cam is like, you know, one that I'll have mounted here, and this one's set to C cam simply because I'm trying out this one with, what is this, 2.7K 24 frames per second with a 120 shutter speed, and damn it, running 120 on the shutter speed, 24 frames per second, 120 shutter speed, ND16 filter on the front of the lens, just to see how it looks. I'm not even sure how it's going to look. I might not even end up just, you know, saying screw it and just leave the shutter set to auto if it's easier and, you know, more convenient. But you can't go wrong with the DJI Osmo Action. So you got a DJI Osmo Action, you got the inline audio level dial knob thing, and then you have the Sinova audio adapter for it, and then you have your microphone. So you get all those 4 things set up in your helmet, and this is a push a button and you start recording sort of thing. When you're done, you push the button and it turns off sort of thing. Of course, you have to go into the menu and on the Action camera and set all those things, like if you wanted to shut off by itself over a certain time or not at all. But another nice thing about this camera is if you want to, you know, it's got the front facing screen on it too. So that was like, you know, they kind of pioneered that, and ever since then GoPros have kind of copied that design and went with that themselves, which is pretty awesome. So if you like to turn the camera around and just you know, point it at yourself, you know, do some talking, do stuff like that, it works awesome with that. The onboard microphones they're livable. I mean, you can live with them. They're pretty good for just being little tiny little onboard microphones on the camera. So anyways, this is just some little test footage that I'm running with this. This is standard, just letting on my helmet. This is just the shutter speed doing its thing, whatever the heck it wants to, and this one's set shutter speed at 120. You kind of have to do that on an Action camera with an ND filter, because if you have the shutter speeds too low, the stability doesn't work on it, and it makes these weird kind of artifacts in the picture of it. So this is just like an experiment, you know, going on right here. So anyways, I just wanted to make this video. This is more for myself, but if you guys are, you know, if you wanted to know a good setup for your helmet camera and microphone sort of thing, that Osmo Action is the way to go. It's cheaper than a GoPro and it's more reliable. Man, that thing's fast. So any of the wind noise you might be hearing on here, this isn't the microphone and the audio adapter setup doing this. This is my helmet. This thing is super loud. It's a Bell Qualifier helmet. They're notoriously loud, but you know what? This one fits perfect. I mean, the Qualifier helmets fit me perfect, so I like to stick with them. So if you guys have to hear a little, ooh, that's a big bird. Anyways, thanks for watching the video. Once again, I appreciate it. I'm gonna sign off. Until the next one. See you later.